sauce made from... It's for fries, burgers, and, the best stuff comes in that iconic glass bottle with, This is Mikey, and let's mix up some eats. So what is ketchup? Fun fact, ketchup was invented 1,000 years ago. It was a Asian fish sauce, actually. Europe got a hold of it and went crazy trying to copy what Asia called ketchup. They tried mushrooms, horseradish, anchovies, but lost the let's copy Asia plot and started using tomatoes. That was less than 200 years ago. So why'd we stop at tomatoes? Let's mix it up and do something different. So I'm going to set some ground rules for my ketchup mix-ups. Based around one kind of produce. Mildly spiced, thick, smooth, sweet, tangy, and savory. So, where do we start? So, why cabbage? It's full of savory glutamates, it's cheap, usually less than $1 per pound, and it isn't going to burn easily, because it's a brassica and they're low in sugar. Challenge is, cabbage has sulfur compounds, hence the smell. I need to complement those to placate the odor. It's also not tangy, so vinegar is going to be extra prominent and important. Also, I've read that it has almost no pectin. Pectin is the glue that holds plant cells together. It gels when it's heated and makes most things smooth and glossy in a lot of different things, like ketchup. If the texture isn't going to be as smooth as tomato ketchup, that might be why. I'm just gonna hack my cabbage up with complete disregard. I'm being as accurate as I would be with a chainsaw skinning a salmon. Big, small, thick, thin. For this, it won't matter. Don't worry, it's enough to get to fit in the cooking vessel of choice, and that's it. And cabbage is ready. Alright, gotta spice this up. Thinking about this here, I want every ketchup to be spiced in a way that suits each of the main ingredients. For the cabbage, I'm thinking caraway seeds, because they're common in German coleslaw, white pepper should cut through the cabbage smell, and a few cloves. Those are really good at accentuating tangy flavors, I find. Here's everything I have for some homemade cabbage up. An absolutely obscene amount of cabbage, I did extra, some white vinegar, cabbage-friendly spices, and sugar. I'll pop this in the slow cooker and cook it for a whole 10 hours. This is not going to be quick. Alright, so once they're done cooking, I'm going to blend them up. I'm going to press them with a spoon or a fine mesh strainer over a mixing bowl, add some food coloring to adjust the color, and season with salt, and we're done. Oranges. They're sweet, they're tangy, and the citric acid helps stop them from burning. But they have a layer of pith. That's the bitter white part under the skin, and peeling the skin off doesn't always get rid of all of that pith. Unlike everything else today, there's very little glutamic acid in oranges. Again, that's the savory acid. So I'll need to compensate somehow. And there's a lot of water in oranges. So I had to buy 3 2-pound bags to have enough solid weight for orange up. Also, I'm using clementine, so oranges, kinda, sorta. To try to fix problem number 1, I'm removing the skins. I'm just making an X on top and then prying the skin off. Less gruesome than it sounds. I'm also breaking up the segments a little bit, and I'll remove some of that white stuff in the center. That's also bitter. It's going to be a lot of skin. Now, spices. The clementines are sweet, so I gotta cut some of that. I don't want this tasting like dessert. Chili powder should be able to help with that. I want to shift the color a little bit, so turmeric. Last thing would be enhancing any umami savoriness. I find celery seed helps, so I'm throwing in some celery seeds. Finally, I decided to add some allspice because it's a common spice I use in tomato ketchup, and it also helps boost sour flavors. Okay, I got the 4 spices, vinegar cut with a little bit of water, and a bit of soy sauce. It really needs something savory, and the soy sauce is going to help. Last thing, sugar, and then another 10 hours, blend, strain, season, color, and I'll have some orange up. I did some research, and apparently beets are packed with glutamates, like 417 milligrams per 100 grams. They're also high in pectin, but it's somehow different than fruit pectin. I don't get it. Thing is, beets burn easily. I did a first batch on the slow cooker mode on my Instant Pot, and that was black. And no, I don't have the footage. Moral of the story, don't cook beets in a slow cooker for 10 plus hours. It burns, and I'm sad. No matter how you cook them, beets take a while. And the biggest hurdle, geosmin. Geosmin is that thing that makes beets taste like munching on mud. Good news is that you can slay the mighty geosmin with the might of vinegar, which I need anyway. But I can't deactivate all of it. Some earthiness is inevitable. So now with the second batch, I have 4 beets. I'll cut off the stems, wash, and peel them. These are some chunky beets, so I'm going to quarter them. And not slow cooking these. They gotta bake. I'm tightly wrapping them in foil and baking them at 350 until tender, which took about 45 minutes. I'm going to season this to manage the earthiness. I'm adding some white pepper. I find the peppery taste distracts from the earthiness a bit. And I'm adding some dried dill, which goes really well with beets. So like usual, spices, vinegar, and sugar. Once the beets are cooked and cooled, blend, strain, season, and color. I have the 3 ketchup mix-ups at the ready. I did add some food coloring to make them brighter, as I mentioned. I have some fries, and let's try them out. That's really interesting. It's kind of like a cross between ketchup and relish, if you can believe it. Wow. Okay. So I understand that some people are really against the whole, earthiness of beets. But you don't get really that much earthiness. The only thing I can say that I wish I changed about this is adding like a little brown mustard seed, because that earthiness mixed with like kind of that nasal heat of the brown mustard seed would really, really make this pop. But this beet up is amazing. It's so savory. No. Oh. Okay. There's definitely some pith, flavor still in here. So if you're gonna make orange up, really, really put a lot of effort into getting the pith off your oranges, because that's so bitter. That honestly is bitter enough that it tastes like it was made from grapefruit, not oranges. I hope you enjoyed watching me make some mix-ups. Tell me, what kind of ketchup you would mix up? And if you have any ideas for what food I should mix up next, pop them in the comments. And subscribe to Mikey Makes Eats for more mix-ups. Until next time.